What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. The Jack Knights, finally they are out on YgoPro on the beta and on YgoPro 2 as well. So finally we can try them out, no glitches, no script errors, they are all working fine to my knowledge. This is currently my deck list, 44 cards. I'll come back at pretty much every new card and then as always a couple of example games. The Jack Knights all have, or at least, yeah, all are pretty much high-level monsters, and that's the thing that have in common is that all the Jack Knights can be special summoned from your hand as soon as, you know, they're heavily column-based, and as soon as there are 2 or more cards in the same column, your Jack Knight can be special summoned from your hand to that particular column, and then, yeah, depending on which Jack Knight, they'll get their effects. Their most important, or at least a couple of the important ones here, first of all, is the purple one. It's like a combination of Wind Up Rabbit and Wind Up Factory, so like banish it once per turn or any other Jack Knight monster to get a search, and it will return during your next standby phase, so definitely one of the MVP searches. The second one, I believe, is the most important card here for the Jack Knights. Definitely an instant 3-off in the deck, and that's blue. Blue is also level 8, and blue lets you like switch positions, switch columns, switch monster zones on your side of the field by targeting any other or any Jack Knight monster on the field, and then you can pick any monster zone, free monster zone on your side of the field, and then that particular Jack Knight will move to that monster zone. I'll come back to that. Why that is important. The red one and the yellow one are just very generic, is that the red one destroys a monster on your opponent's side of the field, a face-up monster that is in the same column as the red one. The yellow one does pretty much the same, but destroys spells. Those effects are not once per turn, but you know, as soon as they are in the same column, they can target that appropriate spell or monster card, but at a small cost of banishing any Jack Knight from your graveyard. That can be good since, you know, they have a field spell. The field spell just lets you discard one Jack Knight or World Chalice card to draw one card, so that somewhat sets up both these red and yellow monsters. Terraforming is at 3 here in the deck, but the field spell is not their MVP. You can just drop a couple of terraformings and also desires if you want, but yeah, I just keep it at 44 cards to somewhat justify triple desires, you know, just extra cards to work with. Then the other monsters, first of all, we have green. Green is, I think, just fine as a 2-off low attack, but its most important effect is that when it declares an attack on the monster in the same column, you can target any Jack Knight monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So that's good, but again, not too spectacular. The level 5 is also quite nasty. It's at any point when it's special summoned from your hand or summoned to the field from your hand, it will get searches equal to the amount of cards your opponent controls in the same column. So let's say your opponent has a monster and the spell in the same column where you're special summoning your blue sky, you can get 2 searches. Again, very good, you know, again, instant +1 or +2 depending on how many cards your opponent has in his monster or spell and trap card zone. The last one, Flame, I don't like it that much, 3k defense body, but it's just an extra Jack Knight monster in your main deck, right? The Grinder Golem, first of all, was at 2 in the deck, but I believe it's just an instant 3-off in the deck. If you go first, you need this one to get your engine going. You'll see why in a couple of moments. Instant fusion, same for your Grinder Golem, instant 3-off. Again, you will see it in a couple of moments. A couple of generic draw cards like Desire Trade-in, 7-star Sword are actually going well with the archetype. Trade-in sets up a possible monster in your grave to be reborn or to be banished. Same for 7-star Sword, banishing a level 7 monster to get 2 draws, and very good. And that's where also quite important engine of this deck goes to, is first of all the continuous spell. Upon activation, you can target one of your banished Jack Knight monsters and add it back to your hand. So again, it works very well with 7-star Sword. The 2 other traps also can be MVP. Since the first one here, when it's on the field, or at least when activated, you can target like a Jack Knight monster on the field. It will gain 1000 attack and defense, that's not too crucial. Its second effect is much more crucial, is that when it's on the field, your trap card as soon as your opponent activates like a spell card, and if that spell card, that activated spell card, is in the same column as a Jax Knight monster, that spell card will be negated. So that's where, you know, for example, your blue one comes into play, switching monster zones and switching him to the same column as the activated spell card from your opponent. Same for the trap card. The other trap card is like a Call of the Haunted to special summon a monster inside of the field. And it's like a skill drain again, a monster in the same column as a Jack Knight monster, then that monster's effect will be negated. The Link monster is also fine, but needs 3 Jack Knight monsters, but again, it's good special summoning something from the deck, definitely a 2-off in the extra deck. Okay, let's not waste any more time, let's hop into a couple of example duels. Okay, a couple of examples. Again, going first, and I believe the first 2 duels are me actually going first and having access to Grinder Golem. Again, the importance of Grinder Golem is quite crucial, since again, it gives your opponent a monster, of course, and that's again 1 extra card in a column, and you're working to get at least 2 cards in the same column to, you know, get your access, get your somewhat cost active, so you can special summon your Jack Knights in that particular column. The most important one here is eventually, if you want, you can destroy your Grinder Golem, but eventually I was able to go for the Jack Knight Link monster and, you know, sacrificing a same card or a card in the same column as your Link monster, then you can special summon a Jack Knight monster from your deck. So pretty much the most important moves, or one of the most important moves, is first of all, get purple on the field. Purple, as you see here, is like the wind-up rabbit, like banish it, get a search. Again, very good, since it will return during the next standby phase, and then you can just use her effect again to get another search. Quite crucial to gain or still gain advantage. Another important card that you need to get on the field as soon as possible is blue. Again, blue lets you switch between monster zones, again switching any Jack Knight monster to a particular monster zone to negate a possible spell, trap or monster effect from your opponent. Okay, the opponent is smart, normal summoning the Alistair into a free monster zone, but again, I still have blue on the field, so I can just switch any particular Jack Knight to, you know, the empty monster zone, so that Alistair's effect, monster effect, will be negated, since I do have the Call of the Haunted face up on the field. That's cool, since they're just, yeah, pretty much continuous trap cards, and then as soon as the monster is like off the field, used for something like a Link summon, it will just stay on the field. So potentially later in a duel, those useless continuous cards can just be fodder for your Link monster. Again, going first, having access to Grinder Golem, yeah, very similar opening move. You're always going for the same, like going for that Magician, bounce back your Grinder Golem, special summon it again, since again that gives your opponent a monster on his side of the field. So thanks to the level 5 here, I can get a search, since again the opponent has 1 monster. Pop it, thanks to red, use 7-star sword again, keep the engine going, and if I can, I try to go for the Link 3, but I can't, so just make sure, again, one of the most important things is, first of all, get purple going if you can, and second of all, get blue going. Again, just switching between those monster zones. But sadly, you can only use the same blue once per turn, so yeah, of course, right. Use the Call of the Haunt twice to reborn the level 5. No searching, since again, level 5 will only trigger when it's special summoned from the hand, but again, it's something important to, you know, just have its same Jack Knight monster in the same column as the activated spell, trap or monster effect. Alistair is negated, and attack it with green, I believe, to get something back from my graveyard indeed, but this is just more than enough to attack for a game. So again, yeah, the importance of Grinder Golem, definitely very important if you're going first, since again, it enables your plays, right? Okay, going second this time, the opponent is playing with Subterrors. That's a decent opening start. Again, the generic pot of desires to get 2 extra cards to work with, all good. And here the opponent has like 2 sets or 2 cards in the same column. That's perfect. You know, that's just free for me to special summon those Jack Knights into that particular column. The level 5 got 2 searches, since again the opponent controls 2 cards in the same column as the level 5, and now I can just like set any card to another column, to indeed another column, to just in case, again, have 2 cards in the same column and then get the engine going. I was able to go for the Link 3-1, the Jack Knight's Link monster, and again, making sure that I have the blue one on my side of the field to switch zones indeed. Here my plan was to switch the Link monster all the way to the right to potentially special summon the Spell and Trap Destroyer, but I believe two of them indeed were banished due to Pot of Desire. So I can't play around a possible strike, but in the end I believe it's not going to matter. I tank it to his monster, get something back from my graveyard and flip over the trap card to, you know, gain some extra attack boost. So very, very cool. You know, if the opponent is not, at least doesn't know the archetype really well, you can definitely take advantage from that. Again, the opponent gets to start. It's again a very good start. One back row. The spell card again can potentially negate spells and traps, but you need a Jack Knight's monster in the same column as a trap. As a trap card. So yeah, Solemn Strike negated the summon. So nope, Strike won't be negated. Sadly, otherwise again, two potential searches thanks to the level 5. But priority number 2 here: get purple going, get some extra searches every turn during my next standby phase, and priority number 3, get blue going, right? Again, switching zones. Here, flipping over the trap card to gain, at least give blue an extra boost of attack and defense. Not too important. The most important thing here is get that continuous trap face up to negate a spell card in the same column as a Jack's Knight. Again, blue switching, since yeah, the same blue, at least, yeah, blue's effect is not restricted to the same card. I mean, you can just use multiple blues during the same turn. That sounds like crazy. Anyway, go for Adrius to pop the field spell. Again, the field spell was like a hinder, can't attack, you know, face down monster, negate the battle, at least negate the attack and the battle phase, etc. But, you know, thanks to Adrius, I was able to do that. Last example, going first, no grinder golem this time. That's where Instant Fusion can definitely come into play by putting an extra card into the extra monster zone. So this is 2 cards, the one set off as well. Go for Link Karibo and getting blue going. There is a first spell card. I definitely want to negate Terraforming, so flip over the trap card and move blue to the same column as Terraforming. The Jurek Searcher is fine. Yeah, normal summon Oviraptor. I want to negate that, so flip over Call of the Haunted to reborn another blue, I believe, in the same column as the Raptor. So the monster effect is negated, since again the Call of the Haunted has that skill drain effect as long as a monster is in the same column as like a Jack Knight monster. Luckily, I had a second blue, so negate that Tyranno pop from the baby, right? But I do lose my entire field, but it's all good. I still have purple going. Again, once per turn, it will just return and then banish itself to search on another monster. Get, as soon as possible, get red on the field. Pop his Tyranno so he can't play during my turn. The Instant Fusion was an excellent top deck. Again, putting that extra monster, at least an extra card, into the same column and just get everything on the field. Making sure that you can potentially summon blue, switch positions and give you an extra open monster zone to special summon just more Jack Knights to the field. So personally, I think the Jack Knights are one of the best designed archetypes. They're very fun to play with. Feel free again to leave suggestions, but guys, this deck is highly, at least I highly recommend playing the Jack Knights. Very, very fun deck. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.